Hello there. The Remoaners are doing their best to force the UK into a legal abyss in order to frustrate Brexit. According to The Sun, UK cabinet ministers are now privately saying that unless a deal is agreed with the EU by October, the UK will be plunged into a legal abyss. Without a deal in October, they would be forced to wait until November or even later to start the process of getting key Brexit legislation through the Westminster Parliament, which would not leave them enough time to get the laws in place by March 2019. And that is without the massive spoiling rearguard action that the Remoaners would fight every inch of the way. The leader of the House of Commons, Andrea Leadsom, who is in charge of the government business timetable, also warned that due to only having a narrow majority, the government would probably not be able to use any expedited legislation procedures. And now iNews is reporting that some ministers fear that a deal with Brussels will not be reached until Christmas. We will now see the Remoaners coming out and being even more obstructive, if that could be at all possible, given how hard they have been working so far against the will of the electorate. The thinking is now that Theresa May has just one chance of saving both Brexit and her job, and that is to win a crucial Commons vote on Wednesday. This vote concerns the Remainers' claims that the PM promised them a meaningful vote on the final Brexit deal with Brussels via a Lords amendment to the EU withdrawal bill if the Remainers voted with the government. In the end, the rebels did vote with the government on the back of that promise, but they claim that the amendment finally put in by the government fell far short of what they were promised. This amendment will go to the Lords on Monday with the rest of the bill, where there will undoubtedly be much tinkering before it goes back to the Commons on Wednesday. If the PM wins, she can use the prospect of a no-deal Brexit as a negotiating position with the EU. If she loses the vote, then Brussels will sit back and offer either nothing or a very bad deal and wait for the UK Parliament to do their negotiations for them. The Remainers and Brussels are probably hoping that at the very least at some stage in the months before 11 p.m. on March the 29th, 2019, they can engineer a vote in Parliament to approach the EU for an extension to the Article 50 negotiating process, for which, as I said yesterday, the EU Council of Ministers is already preparing. Be in no doubt the main drivers behind the UK being in this position are the antics of those pro-EU MPs, Lords and civil servants. As John Longworth says in The Telegraph, the strident and concerted attempt by the Remainer establishment, including the media, to overthrow the democratic will of the people has been shocking and has revealed a rottenness at the heart of the way our country is run. As an example, the Daily Mail reports that just a year ago the former Tory Attorney General Dominic Grieve told the House of Commons that he did not want to fetter the government's hands in negotiations or indeed the government's right to walk away from the negotiations. But what does he seem to be doing right now? Ensuring that the PM's hands are tied on both counts. And now we have the Business Secretary Greg Clark demanding that the UK stays tied to the EU customs rules until 2025, says The Sun, because the Maximum Facilitation Customs Plan, or MaxFac, won't be ready for 7 years. But as I said yesterday, the UK establishment will be quite prepared to be part of a new EU-wide and beyond €230 million tax cooperation scheme and IT system by 2021. Now, to rub salt into the wounds, we have reports that, if tenders are signed before the UK leaves the EU, the UK could be liable for €54 million of a €420 million redesign of a Brussels building, which is only 25 years old, that houses an MEP debating chamber. According to the Times, the rebuild will include improvements to catering services and facilities to avoid bumping into the public. I'll leave you to comment on that one. But at least the German manufacturer Siemens has faith in the UK. It has beaten Bombardier and Hitachi to provide state-of-the-art rolling stock for the London Underground. Although you could say it should have gone to a UK company, this deal does have some very good upsides for the UK. The good news for British manufacturing is that the contract win will trigger Siemens' commitment to build a £200 million factory at Goole in the East Riding of Yorkshire to make trains for the Tube, directly employing 700 workers and a further 1,700 in the local supply chain, says the Times. Finally, not all is well in the EU, as Merkel battles to keep her coalition government together. The German Chancellor is facing open rebellion from her Interior Minister, Horst Seehofer, over his plans to turn away migrants at the German border, reports The Telegraph. Mrs. Merkel has blocked the measure, but Mr. Seehofer is threatening to impose it unilaterally if he doesn't win agreement by Monday, essentially daring the Chancellor to sack him. Yet another part of the EU waking up to the problems the bloc forces onto its member states. At this rate, there won't be much left of a functioning EU for the UK to actually leave. So, please let us all know what you think by leaving a comment below. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.